Sexy Business Status Podcast. I'm your host, Jason Payne. If you like the previous episode, hop on, share it with a friend, family member, another business owner, small business owner, blue collar guy. And thank you for hopping on. The goal is to take your business, your family, and your income to the next level via this podcast. So apart from the episodes I do myself, I love bringing on guests that are killing it in their space and hearing how they got to where they did, the success story that they had, but also the struggles and the shit they went through in order to get there, because that's truly how you become successful, is overcoming those hurdles. So I brought in one of my, we're not super tight, we're tight on social media, I guess, right? But a guy that I've actually followed, that I like, comment, share his shit, and I like his stuff. We have a lot of common friends, and my man Justin Cross.
What's going on?
What's up, dude?
What's up?
Man, so we're just gonna jump right into it. So Justin, so I'm gonna let you give your own little bio here. Like, what do you do? How do you make money? And what are you doing right now?
So I've built a couple brands that I now run that have a couple different things, products and services. So I was an aerospace engineer for a long time after the Navy, hit a ceiling doing that world, and I decided I'm not gonna sit here and kind of wait for someone else to tell me that it's my time to get promoted again, you know?
Sure.
But I did well in that space, and but I decided, you know what, I need to go do my own thing. And so first thing I did is I founded a company called Earn Your Booze in 2017, which is a work hard, play hard brand, because I was in the Navy before that, so, you know, sailors, what do we do?
Yeah.
Cuss, drink, we do a lot of stuff like that, but we got to be healthy, we got to stay in shape.
Sure.
So that was more like a mindset thing in the beginning, though. It's just literally like earn your booze t-shirts, earn your bourbon, earn your tequila, earn your donuts, just like acknowledging, that we're fucking working hard.
Was it like a fun fad thing first, and then it like, holy shit, this could actually be like a movement?
So yes, but I planned it the right way from the beginning, because I was an engineer before that, and I insist on doing things like with a lot of research and planning out. So even though I kind of kicked it off with t-shirts and having fun and doing events and whatnot, I submitted a ton of trademarks, ton of domains, and really like solidified it because I knew it was going to be something.
Sure.
So did the right build of the foundation from the beginning. But that was in 2017, and that just took off because that was weird. You know, like earn your booze, like work hard, you know, fitness, mental toughness, like working on yourself, but then also acknowledging, we like to drink beer, or we like to drink whiskey and shit like that. And so that landed us in
moderation.
And there's a whole kind of process to it, and some people barely drink, some people drink too much, and you know, everyone's got to find what works for them. But it was so weird that it landed us in Men's Health Magazine and Liquor.com and all these publications, because they were like, hold on, this isn't a fitness thing, this isn't a drink, what is this? This is kind of everything, you know?
Both. Pattern interrupt, for sure.
Dude, totally. And that kind of really set the foundation for me for the first couple of years that allowed me to then grow into what we have now, which is Earn It All Coaching. We have a thing called True North Men's Development. We do
we
have all this other stuff. But really at the foundation was me planting my flag, saying that this is what I believe in, this is what I'm passionate about, and building a business the right way from the ground up. Around Earn Your Booze was really kind of what just, you know, set me off as, okay, cool, this guy's going to be an entrepreneur now.
So I want to go back to the very beginning when you said aerospace.
Yeah.
Like, how the hell, like, that's not like a traditional, stereotypical thing to get into. How did you just fall into that? So where did that come from?
So I joined the Navy after high school.
Okay.
Because I did not want to do any more college. You know, I just wasn't into it. And so I joined the Navy a little after 9/11. So 9/11 was also the tipping point for me. Mm-hmm. I was sitting there as a junior in high school watching that unravel on TV, because we still went to school that day. But, you know, we weren't in class. We were just watching that shit happen. And I'm looking at that and I'm like, man, this is fucking bullshit, you know? And I'm like, something needs to be done about this, you know? Mm-hmm. And so I didn't want to go to college. My buddy had just said he was joining the Navy, and it all just came together. I'm like, I'm going to go do something about that. So that's how I got into the Navy. But I worked on fighter jets in the Navy. So a lot of people don't realize the Navy has a shitload of aircraft, fighter jets, helicopters, like all sorts of stuff. And so I spent 4 years essentially working on originally, the Top Gun jets, F-14s, and then brand new Super Hornets, F-18s. Sailed around the planet on an aircraft carrier, launched and recovered, dropped bombs, like all that kind of shit. And that's what got me then into the next thing. So I was like, okay, now I'm going to get out and go to college. I was only in for 4 years, right? So I plan to come back here to Arizona and go to ASU. But
Are you from here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I grew up in North Scottsdale.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, born in Pennsylvania, but grew up here in Scottsdale.
Right.
Yeah, so getting out of the Navy, and I put a resume out on Monster.com. Remember that?
Oh,
I don't even know if it's still a thing or not.
I don't think so.
Yeah, probably not. But I put it out there, and I planned to come back to college, but I started to get these hits from Lockheed Martin, who makes these fighter jets, world's largest defense contractor. So I interviewed for a couple things, and I ended up going into one of the F-22 programs. It's a flight test program for the F-22 fighter jet. It was in Edwards Air Force Base, California.
Okay.
And essentially what flight test is, I'll tell you real quick because I did that for 10 years. We get a brand new fighter jet. I did 5 years F-22 and 5 years F-35. But when these jets are brand new, imagine like, okay, this thing was just developed. It's flying. It needs to go into the field and go to the Air Force and go to the Navy, whoever buys it.
Okay.
But it needs to be tested because it comes from the factory with like factory settings.
Sure.
For example, it can go this fast, it can pull this amount of G's.
Stop.
It can drop a weapon from here, but these are mostly like the safety parameters. This is what we know it's capable of. That's called the envelope.
Okay.
Our job in flight test is to say, yeah, that's nice, but let's see what it can really do and push it.
Literally like Maverick Mach 10.
Yeah,
like,
literally, just push it. 100%. That was flight test.
That's
exactly
so
right.
funny. I was like, oh, I just watched a movie about that. Yeah.
That's exactly right. So we tested everything from stealth capabilities to weapons to avionics. All sorts of classified programs. We tested even fucking new tires, like everything. And we said, okay, this is the baseline of envelope from the factory, but after years of testing, it's actually up here. Now you go take it, Air Force, and you can be confident that it's safe up to here. Float. And now you know what it's really capable of. So we had to push it. Basically,
you did that for a decade.
Yeah. And so our goal essentially was to kind of break it, see what happens, collect data, fix it. A lot of shit goes wrong when you do that,
Yeah.
We lost some planes, we lost pilots. It's a dangerous fucking environment. But the Navy essentially is what set me up to do that. And I did that for 10 years.
That's wild. Okay, so you go from
stories for days on that.
I was gonna say that's a lot of whiskey and a lot of bonfires right there.
Yeah.
So you go from coming out of college or high school, going to the Navy, going to school, doing your tour, doing everything, and you come back. How do you go from aerospace Navy guy to a health fitness entrepreneur?
So I was doing very well in aerospace. I was advancing really well. I ended up with my name painted on the side of a F-35B, a Marine variant fighter jet. Essentially owned that jet. Was doing really well. Had guys that worked around the clock 24/7 on it and maintained it, got it ready for missions and did all this stuff. And so I'm like, cool, let's keep this going. So I applied for another position. I was a lead flight test control engineer, and I applied for whatever else, another thing was called. And I essentially won that interview. The director calls me into his office and he's like, hey, you've already proven you can do this. You filled in. I want you to do it. You won the interview. However, HR says you need another 10 to 15 years experience. And I was like, well, you can do something.
What?
Yeah, I was like, you can do something about that, right? You want me. You know I can do it. Fucking just make it happen.
What do you need more experience if you already have proven your experience?
Dude, and by that point...
That's a number.
And by that point, I had 14 years experience in. I was a bachelor's degree in technical management at that point, 3 classes shy of a master's in aeronautical science. Like, just kicking ass. I was getting awards all the time, and everything was working.
Sure.
But when I saw that HR was like, dude, you have to sit here and wait 10 years to get that job, I think it was within 6 months. We had completely ditched and left California. We had a brand new house that we had just built and upgraded and did everything we wanted to it. Sold it. I left one of my stepdaughters in California. I ditched my master's degree 3 classes shy of aeronautical science master's degree, and we moved to Arizona to originally we were going to open a brewery.
Okay.
So we came out here to do that, but that was the light bulb that said, okay, I'm getting off of this path of comfort and security and all this stuff and all this time that I put into this career.
A lot of structure.
Tons of structure. Like good pay, good what do we call it, incentives,
Yeah,
all this kind of shit. Yeah, like I could have been promoted forever, probably be a director of something now. But I said, no, dude, I need to see what I'm actually capable of. I need to succeed or fail on my own and not just sit here and get a fucking promotion time after time. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So that was the catalyst that forced me. I mean, I made the decision, obviously, but essentially forced me to get out and, do my own thing.
Sure.
So Earn Your Booze was first. To answer your question, how did we get into what we do now, essentially? People are always saying this about Earn Your Booze. They're like, hey, man, I like that. I get it. Like, I live that lifestyle. I like to work hard. I like to drink some beers. Like, like, cool, but how do I earn it? And I always tell them, like some, generic answer or something. We wouldn't have like a real answer for it. So the demand grew and grew and grew. And I was like, all right, dude, we need to answer this. And it's health, wealth, victory, we call it victorious mindset, and respect, which is your relationship. It's our core four. Okay. Similar to like Lions Not Cheap, power, purpose, passion, production. Right. We came up with ours. And we basically offer our coaching program now with fitness included in it for less than $100 a month, because we really just want to help as many people as possible. Sure. But it grew out of the demand of people saying, hey, I get this. This is my lifestyle. How do I do this and be healthy? And so we created what we do now.
That's crazy. And there had to be a desire for both you and your wife at the time for beer or to go start a brewery. You gotta get that. Obviously, it has to be a jam, right?
Yeah. I mean, and I'm like, dude, I'm a dude. I mean, maybe like you too. Like, I go completely all in on whatever I do. Yep. So when we originally decided to open a brewery, we had a business partner out here who is actually in solar now. He owns a local solar company. Good dude, still friends and everything. Yeah. But I was like, okay, if I'm gonna do that, I need to learn everything about beer. So I dove in, listened to every single business beer podcast I could find, joined the Brewers Association, joined all these different associations, started brewing at my house, built a brewery at my house, got a second job like at night, like serving beer and cleaning beer tanks and making beer at a local brewery. Just went all in. Yeah, I even went to SDSU for a Start Your Own Brewery school. And dude, this is how all in I go on everything. It's kind of crazy. But the day I graduated, do you know Stone Brewing Company? Stone Beer in San Diego?
No, Nick does, my business partner. He lives there.
They make like arrogant bastards.
Oh, Dakota's from San Diego.
Oh yeah, so they're massive, Yeah. And so we graduated at Stone Brewing Company, whatever night it was, say Friday night. Drove back up to where I live, north of LA. My house was completely empty. There's no furniture in it whatsoever. It was just my girls, my dogs, and like sleeping bags. Because while I was at school, they moved us to Arizona. Jeez. And we basically slept one night and drove to Arizona the next day. Like literally just like said, okay, we're leaving, severed everything we were doing, and moved to another state and just jumped all in.
So yeah, I want to transition into that. So going from, like I said, the set pay, the set job, I think it's absolute opposite of security personally. Because one phone call, one text message, one email, and you don't have a job, and you're completely unemployed, right? But what does that mindset shift? Those that are like wanting to, like, they have a side hustle, they're wanting to leave, they're wanting to make that jump. What was going through your head when you're like, okay, literally like leaving my awesome house, my career, leaving everything because pretty much you're told that you can't have what you want, or you can be, it's going to take you a decade, and you're like, fuck that. Yeah. And so, all the way to moving to Arizona, like, what kind of mindset did you have to have, and grit, and just balls to make that happen?
To me, it was the obvious thing to do. Like, I had to do it. Like, it basically was immediate, too. Like, as soon as I realized, like, I was not going to be able to get that job that I had just won, per the director, like, I knew in the back of my head, it's like, well, I'm out of here. I didn't know when or what I was going to do next or anything like that, but I was like, fuck this, I'm out of here. Mm-hmm. And so the mindset for me was, it was kind of like pissed off in a way, because other people were trying to dictate how far I was able to go in life. And I was like, dude, I fucking refuse to do that. Like, I need to know what I'm capable of. I know I'm capable of more than what I'm doing now. And if this path is going to end for me, fine, I'll go fucking blaze my own path. So I think people need to like ask themselves, like, when is enough enough? Like, if you're not happy with your work or your business or your fucking health or your relationships or whatever, at some point you have to be like, okay, I need to do something about it. Because before you know it, you're going to wake up and be 40 and 50 and 60 and retired and grandkids and all this, and then you're going to look around and be like, fuck, I should have made that change. Mm-hmm. So to me, I was like, dude, I was at the time, how old was I? I was probably like, and I don't know, I was maybe like 30, 31. And I was just like, dude, my life is just starting. Like, I'm out of here. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm out. But I had to make that decision to say, dude, no, I'm going to go out on my own and see what's going on out in the rest of the world.
So let me ask you this. So you make that jump. So as a business owner, small business owner, both of us, right? Mm-hmm. The word that I love and that I teach religiously is capacity issues.
Yes.
So basically, in where you were going, because you were like, you had promotion, awards, the ranks, all this stuff going and cranking, and then, in my opinion, in that sphere of where you were at, they're like, hey, here's a capacity issue, because it's going to be something ungodly, a decade before you get there. And they're like, bro, instead of like, I've already earned it, I'm right here, it should be like next week.
Yeah.
And no, oh no, it's a decade. Like they actually built like their own jail cell, right? They built that capacity issue for you to where they had an amazing employee, huge asset. Like I said, they said, Marines and SEALs and those guys, I mean, there's $1 million bodies, right? They're just worth, because all the training and all the stuff that you go through. And then that person leaves, they have to do that all over again with the rookie, with the novice.
Right.
And so, like, it is very, very, very important that you do not create capacity issues in your business, because the best of the best in their space will leave if they have capacity issues working for you.
Dude, 100%. Everybody has to know that they're valued and that they have a career progression. I know that's kind of like a generic term, but like it's true. Like no matter what somebody does in your organization, they should know that, maybe they don't want to like progress and become like the manager or something, but they should know that like there are ways for them to make more money. This company is solid. This company wants them around. This company is going to help them, progress maybe into another field. Maybe someone's in the office and they're like, you know what, maybe I don't want to do this anymore, but I think I want to go out and sell. Or maybe I feel like I want to go drive, or I want to do something like that. If the company is willing to keep a valuable person and be kind of flexible for them and find the right spot for them, that's like, you can keep a good person for sure.
Well, and that's the crazy part too. So we talk about doing audits. So I'm buddies with Brandon and Natalie Dawson from Carter Ventures, and Natalie's book called Teamwork, and Brandon, they roll out the PPFs, right? Which I'm like, I always give them credit, but I use them religiously in my business, because every 90 days I'm like, hey, are we still on track to work with your goals where you want to go? Because if it doesn't take 90 days, but you have to go back and recheck in with them. Hey, is this still what we want to do? We want to do something different? It's not like get off the bus. It's, just go sit in a different seat.
Sure.
Right? Instead of we, as business owners, a lot of times we're just like, fuck it, kick them out. It's like, no, they're an amazing asset, amazing employee, like, or team member. We just put them in a different seat.
Right.
Right? But you have the self-awareness of that. Just asking, being there. Tony Mello mentioned just a little bit ago on one of his podcasts I was listening to, literally just said, he's like, a lot of times when business owners start making money, the first thing they do is they disconnect from their business and their team members. Sure. They're like, oh cool, it's quote unquote turnkey, which in my opinion, none of them are. They're all 30 days from winning a business, but they literally disconnect themselves from their people. Yeah. So you don't know where they're at, or good or bad, personally, professionally, financially, right? To be able to put them in a different seat, and then all of a sudden, like, there's animosity, like you said, it turns into a shit show really fast.
And you wonder why they leave.
Yeah, and you're like, wait, that dude is over there absolutely crushing it. Like, funny, you're a sports guy, right? So, born and raised in Arizona, third generation Arizona, right? Cool. Like, literally my great grandfather is named after Alma School Road. Like, that's like way back in the day. Yeah. Like, Arizona sports, people play for the Cardinals, we suck, they leave the Cardinals, and they're getting like MVPs, and they're winning Super Bowls, and they come and play for the Diamondbacks, and we suck. And then they leave, and then they get Cy Young awards, and they get like, I'm like, what is happening? But I'm like, you literally had an opportunity with an amazing player here, but you didn't take advantage of them in that position, that role, and then they leave, and then go somewhere else, and they're absolutely, now if they bomb, then you're like, okay, that's a good move. Yeah. But like, I feel like most of the time, we as business owners, we're not continuously developing our team to like become the best version of themselves and continue to grow your business. Because once you start growing your business, your team members will see it, they'll know it, and then they're like, as soon as they hit that, like they're out. Yeah.
And then on the flip side, I think guys cut people too soon when they make a mistake as well. Because I kind of look at it like this: when somebody on the team like makes a mistake, if it's a genuine mistake, dude, they just learned a super valuable lesson. Yeah. You want to keep that person because you know they're not going to make that one anymore, and other people can now learn from that. Mm-hmm. So I think business owners also get too kind of egotistical and arrogant and be like, oh man, you messed this up, you're freaking out. Now, of course, the case like if you're stealing or something, like you're gone. Right. But if you like just made a mistake, like you want to try to keep that person because that person is probably more valuable than they were before the mistake. Right. Right. So like, but it comes back to like how you treat your people.
Well, and like when that issue happens and you call them out, you just, like, no emotion in business, right? Like, you're like, oh, cool. Like, watch how they react to that. Because you could throw the exact same thing at them.
Right.
And you'll get two different responses from two different people.
Yeah.
Right? But like, if you're coming at them, you're yelling at them, you're telling them they suck, or like, what the hell's your problem? Like, why'd you do this? You're an idiot. It's like, dude, I wouldn't want to be around you and work for you either. I tell you to fuck off and pound salt, right? So like, the business owners, like, that's why Brandon teaches it, like, religiously, and that I love is I get called up all the time from my team members, like, no emotion.
Yeah.
Like, if a meeting or a Zoom call or a text thread or whatever starts to get kind of hot, I'm like, hey, check your emotions. No emotion. That's an emotional response. Like, not welcome here. And then it comes down, because then you can act logically, right?
Yeah.
But it's kind of crazy watching certain people where I'm like, wait, something happened. And you go tell that person, and they flip their shit. They freak out. They get super defensive, right? And you're like, oh, maybe they're not the right person. And literally the exact same scenario with the exact same mistake somebody else makes, and they're like, hey, I'm so sorry, my bad. They take full ownership.
Yeah.
What can I do to make it right? Right? What kind of, like, I'm all in. I apologize. Teach me what I did wrong to not do it again.
Yeah.
Like, the exact same scenario, two different outcomes. Right? So, I have a question for you, because obviously with Earn Your Booze and Earn It All and being jacked in fitness. So why is it so important to be just absolutely shredded in life and as a business owner?
Well, dude, first off, without your health, like, nothing else matters. I mean, we got to start there, you know? So I look towards health, capability, and longevity the most right now.
Okay.
So if somebody is overweight and kind of sloppy, then okay, cool, yes, let's get you looking better. But then I think when you get down to a healthy range, like, of course, I think it would be great for everyone to walk around the most confident, at least, version of themselves, and, like, you know, six-pack and veiny arms and all that stuff. Like, that's great, but not everybody wants to be that dedicated to, like, that kind of lifestyle.
Sure.
But everyone should be healthy. Who would not want to be healthy? You know, so, like, because if you're healthy, then you have the best foundation, to go out and build your business and serve your other business, whatever, do all your things, right? So that's one. Maybe we could talk about this all day.
I
know. But dude, it really comes down to, like, your core foundation of, like, who you are, like, your core principles and your core standards. You know, like, if you can't take care of yourself, people see that, and then they start to, you know, second guess, like, okay, well, how good is this guy or this girl in business? Is this person actually reliable?
How much of that do you truly believe, though? Because you see that on Reels and Instagram and all shit about, like, you know, if you don't have a six-pack, you're fired. If you don't, like, how much of it is truly, genuinely true if someone coming in to the office comes in fit, not six-pack and shot, comes in fit versus someone that's 30 to 50 pounds overweight? How much true validity, in your opinion, is there of that?
So when it comes to, like, there's different ranges. Like, so I'm not someone who's like, hey, six-pack or you're fired. That's not my thing. But I want you to be healthy and confident. And that probably means you're not 30 pounds overweight or 50 pounds overweight.
Right.
You know, but if somebody is, there's also a great opportunity there to help that person. Because if that person loses that 30 or 50 pounds, even if, like, they're like, they don't really care, if they do, you see the level up of their confidence. You see the level up of their energy and just who they are, their self-belief. And all of that then does affect the business. So when I see somebody walk in or somebody wants to work with us, I'm like, okay, like, I need to see that you're at least interested in taking care of yourself. Right. And maybe you're not a fitness model. I don't give a fuck about that, you know?
Sure.
Like, but, you know, because there's a lot of very successful, very smart guys that are 30 pounds overweight. Like, so that doesn't take away from...
Well, Andy Frisella, 8 years ago, like...
Oh, yeah, he was huge. Yeah. And not in a good way. Not jacked huge.
Not jacked huge, yeah.
But I guarantee he will tell you that when he took his health more seriously, everything got better. The business got better and everything. So, in general, I probably take a little bit more compassionate approach to your answer. I don't think everyone needs to necessarily try to be 8% body fat and be incredibly shredded and all that, because that does take a lot of dedication. Right. I mean, that takes doing, you know, all sorts of stuff. And
Right.
I'm for it. Like, I will help anybody do that.
So, well, it's extremisms at that point.
Yes, but I don't want people to obsess over that. If somebody is in great shape, and whatever that means for them, but I mean, like, let's be real.
That's realistic.
You can't say you're in great shape and be 40 pounds overweight.
Sure.
You know, that's just not healthy. You know, and that's not burning anybody, but it's like, dude, your body is being taxed more than it should. Like, your heart is being pushed harder than it should. Your internal organs, your brain, everything is affected. Your sleep, all this kind of stuff. Your body is breaking down when you're overweight. Right. So when I see somebody like that, it's like, hey, if you're willing to put in the work and change, boom, I got you. But if you're like, oh, no, I'm fine, I don't care, like, I'm doing good at my job, and it's like, okay, maybe it's good over there, but that's not good to work with us. Like, I need to know that you're willing to level up, willing to change, because I am. I'm always working on myself.
So it's funny that out of that entire piece you just said right there, Gary V. It was a reel that I watched probably about a year ago. Ton of bricks. You have 3 kids?
Yeah.
Right? 2 24-years-olds and a 6-year-old?
6, yeah.
And I have 5 kids from 14 down to 3. And this lady, Gary does like, he goes and does a lot of meet and greets and asking questions, and so they might come up and like, hey, what's your question? Go back and forth. So this lady, I don't know if it's a single mom or not, but this lady says, hey, I have a teenage daughter that's struggling. What would be the number one thing you would teach her? If you was like mentor her.
Sure.
And he said self-confidence.
Yeah.
He said because if she is confident about herself and her values and her core beliefs of who she is and what she does, it's like she can overcome anyone and anything. And I feel like there's a direct correlation between, like I said, not 8% body fat, but being physically active, some sort of restriction on a diet, right? And being healthy and self-confidence. Mm-hmm. It's like there's very, very few people that are overweight and mega confident, and also the extremism of like very few people that are like absolutely ripped with like no self-confidence. Right. Obviously you have the little unicorns here and there, right? But for lack of better words, because I feel like self-confidence comes from earning your booze and earning that type of a body. Yeah. Because with your kiddos and my kiddos, like my biggest thing, I had an aha moment probably 2 years ago. Went to the Great Wolf Lodge, right in Scottsdale. Yeah. And there's like, it's like a freaking firefighter training academy. There's like 9,000 stairs.
Sure.
Right, like triple stories, and I have a lot of kids. Sure. And so like, hey dad, I want to go up. Oh cool. The next day it's like, hey, let's go up. So I go like, I'm 3 climbs in, and I'm like panting. I'm like sweating. You know, like you go swimming and like you're sweating while swimming like in the water. Sure. I know that was the thing by the way until like actually did it, and I was like, oh, you're like you literally sweat while in the water. And I literally had an aha moment that day. I'm like, dude, I was like, I cannot be out of breath for my family. Yeah. And I wasn't fat. I wasn't 50 pounds overweight, but like my cardio was shot. I had 0 cardio. It wasn't there. I had a little bit of a belly. Didn't feel. I felt lethargic. I felt fat. Even though I didn't look fat. Yeah. Remember, 90% of the room, I was probably the most. Yeah. It's not a like bragging rights at all. It's really low standards. But you know what I mean? But like that was the thing that like I want people like, dude, you need to be able to get on your hands and knees and wrestle with your kids, and we say, hey, let's go on a hike. Not like I'm gonna sit this one out or go with Aunt so and so, or like I'll meet you at the top with my Jeep or my truck or my side by side because I can't roll with you. Right. Like that is a thing that drives me nuts.
Totally, dude. Kids only care what we show them. They don't care what we say. You know, so if you want to build confidence in your kids, and you should, that should probably be one of the top goals: health and confidence in your kids. Right. Health, confidence, and happiness. I just thought of that right now, but when I think
health, confidence, and happiness. Bam.
Yeah, health, confidence, and happiness. You know, but the best way to do that with your kids is to get them comfortable in their own skin, and the best way to do that, easiest way to do that, really, is for them to feel confident. And how do you do that? Well, cool. They can do things. They can run. They can climb. When they see other kids doing things, like if they can do that too, they feel great. And like, okay, cool. But if your kid is overweight, or if your kid doesn't have a lot of that experience, and they're watching other kids at the playground, this is when this starts. This really starts at a very young age. They start to think, oh, that's not for me. I can't do that. They're like, oh man. They're like, that's scary. Other kids do that, but I don't do that. And they kind of get into this thing, and I think that's what carries into a lot of adults now having mental problems and low confidence later in life. But it starts with they weren't raised to have health and confidence and happiness by their parents. So the parents, it all starts with you.
Right.
The parents have to get themselves happy, confident, and healthy. And the kids will see that. Even if you're not like actively trying to coach your kid to have those traits, if you're doing that, the kid's going to watch and be like, oh man, I see how dad acts. I see how mom acts. You know, like dad's wearing me out. Dad wants to go up the slide again. Like, oh damn, I better keep up with dad. You know, like
my dad. My kids know every morning. My kids wake up by themselves every single morning because I'm at the gym.
Yeah.
And they know that. They don't have to be like, where's dad? Is he at work? Is he doing this and doing that? Sometimes work, but 90% of the time it's like, no, dad's at the gym. And then my wife and I, we cross each other for like 5 minutes while she's leaving and going to the gym. And she wasn't going to the gym. She made fun of people that went to the gym. She was never fat. She's gorgeous. She was a freaking smoke show now.
Yeah.
But like, had 4 kiddos, put on some baby weight, and she literally just found this thing of like, I don't want to be this way. I don't want to feel this way. I don't look this way. I got to set an example for my kids. And so she found burn boot camp, and that's her little thing. And she's worked out like 153 days in a row or something like that. Like, but like going back to the example of like, do your kids see you doing? And this isn't just about fitness, by the way. This is about money. Do they see you like saving money, investing money, spending money, or is it like, don't buy that, don't upgrade that, this, and we can't have that, or that's not for us, and we'll never have that. My dad never had that, so we're never gonna have that. And I'm like, what are we teaching our kids? I love how people. I get really, this is another trigger for me is, well, millennials don't want to work hard now. Millennials don't want to do this. Millennials don't want to do that. And I'm like, it's not the millennials' fault. It's their parents' fault, in my opinion.
Dude,
now, everybody has agency though, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, it was, what did you or did you not establish into your kids? Now they grow up and you're like, oh, what happened? It's like, well, you didn't teach them to do X and Y and Z, and you wonder why they turned out the way they did.
Dude, totally. The people saying that are part of the problem.
Yeah.
There's like, if they're complaining about the younger generation, well, who do you think that younger generation is learning from?
Yeah.
The person saying that.
Right.
So if you think they're lazy, you think they don't know how to earn things, you don't think they have a good work value and work ethic and all this stuff, like, well, they probably somehow learned that from you. Right. Or you let them skate. You let them get away with it. You let them be on easy street.
Totally.
Whenever I hear that stuff, I'm just like, man, that's such just a weak comment.
Well, it's an easy out.
Yeah, and you're saying that about an entire generation of people. Like, dude, come on. We can't put people into big groups like that. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and so it's kind of funny you said that. So I want to get into earn it all and earn your booze and your men's retreat thing that you have. So when it's funnier now than ever in 2024, when in 2025, earn something, like, we're so entitled as a society. It's freaking wild. Roll with, earn your, like, the you said there's like, when you mentioned it, the word formula came to me. Like, there's a mathematical equation to earn your booze. If you do this, like A plus B equals C, 1 plus 1 equals 2.
Yeah.
Like, earn your booze. If you do this and this and this, whatever it is, equals, you get to have your whiskey or your beer or whatever. Mm-hmm. What is that?
That is the whole formula. I like how you said that. Sometimes I say protocol, but it's the formula. It's our core formula.
It's from the military. Protocol. I got a military guy. Like, what's your formula? Like, that doesn't work out.
That formula is good too. But it's the foundation of your life that we call core 4. So that starts with your health, starts with your wealth, it's your mindset, and your relationships. It's all those things. So that is the answer to how do I earn my booze. It's not just I'm going to drink a 12-pack on Friday, so what's my calories? Let me burn that off before or after or something like that. It's not that. It's like, let's just go through them real quick. It's health, okay? Getting your body as healthy as fucking possible. Especially if you're drinking or smoking weed or eating donuts or like, snack food and like going on date night and doing whatever you like to eat, pizza and all that stuff. Dude, food is so good. I eat everything. I eat pizza, I eat burgers, I eat tacos, I eat everything out there. I love it, okay? But one of the reasons I'm able to do that, and this is what I teach people, is like, when you get your body truly healthy and get it active and have it be a burning machine and giving it 90% of the time what it wants to eat to stay healthy and stay at the ideal weight and all this stuff, when you have some drinks and some tacos or some pizza, your body just processes it and it's done. It's just macros. It doesn't fucking matter.
Right.
So especially when it comes to alcohol and people are like, oh, like the booze, it ruins all this.
Wasted calories.
Yeah, like sure, it can ruin your sleep, and sleep is ultra important. Like, I just did a podcast with a guy, he's a founder of a sleep supplement company. Dude, learned so much about sleep. So most people, especially in business, have this, sleeping I'm dead mentality and just grind.
4 hours.
Yeah, more caffeine, get up at 2 a.m. and all this stuff. And like that really that's more damaging than having some drinks every once in a while.
Mm.
So I think if you take your health seriously and even just master the basics, like eat the stuff you're supposed to eat and stop eating the bullshit you know you're not supposed to eat most of the time. Just basics.
What ratio? 80-20, 90-10?
Yeah, 80-20 is great.
80-20?
Yeah, and from there we can crank it up, or if we need to, if people get more serious, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but we think it's 20-80. It's like, well, I had that. I worked out twice this week, and I had that one pre-workout once, and, or that one protein shake once, and so I should be ripped. But the other 80% of the time, like you're.
Right. And this is where I got to keep it real with people too. It's like it's earn it. You know, it's earn your booze. It's earn your donuts. That doesn't just mean go to the gym every once in a while, then think, okay, cool, I fucking did chest day, now I'm going to go smoke some donuts down, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, no, you need to get your body to a level to where it's in optimal shape, ideally, or on the way there, close to it. Then again, when you have a couple drinks or donuts, it doesn't fucking matter. It just goes in and out.
It doesn't faze you.
It doesn't faze me at all. That's it. That's done. You know, like Adam, our head coach, he's a 280-pound strong man, but does backflips and handstands, and he's a beast. He was sober when I first met him because he had a drinking problem. Mm-hmm. Then when he saw the earn your booze, like essentially mentality, and was like, no, you can earn this, and then have some fun, have some drinks, but then get back on it and handle your shit, handle your business. He's like, you know what, maybe I don't need to be sober. He's like, let me have an old fashioned. And he's like, oh fuck, I didn't fall off the wagon. And now here we are years later, and he's our head coach of our fitness program. So it's absolutely possible, but your health has to come first. So I'm a big fan of this, so I don't want to scare people off. I'm a huge fan of mastering the basics of business and especially with health. So so it's basically to move your body. I'm not even going to tell you what you need to do, but like move your body, lift some weights, do some cardio, and try to do it at least 4 days a week. You know, just move your body, stay active.
It's crazy how like easy that sounds.
It's so fucking easy, dude. People like build up this big boogeyman in their head of like, oh, the gym, and I gotta have a trainer, and everyone's gonna look at me, and I don't know what to do, and I read this over here, and I read that over here, and it's just like
I count my macros.
Like, dude, no, your body is meant to move. Like we have joints, we have muscles, we have hinge points. Like our body needs to move, or what happens? It falls apart. Old ladies get osteoporosis. Why? Because they fucking stop moving.
Like a movement. Yeah.
They stop moving. Your bones need pressure on them. They need to be pushed. They need to stay under pressure. That's how they stay strong. And the muscles like that. Yeah, all of your body is like your organs like that. Your blood needs to flow. You need to move your body. So if
let me stop real quick. I got a question. 10,000 steps a day. Yes or no? Good, bad?
Great.
Like, it's not. Yeah. Is that unrealistic?
No, not at all. Everyone should hit 10,000 steps. Dude, it's crazy, and it's kind of crazy because like our life is so easy. We don't need to. We drive to the office. Everybody comes to us. We drive home, and then you're like, oh man, I did what? 1,000 steps today? But dude, walking is so underrated. Especially if someone needs to lose weight, the first thing you should do is walk. Just master walking. And the easiest thing to do is after every meal, go walk for 10 to 20 minutes.
I heard that. Mm-hmm. Who did I hear that from? One of my buddies said like one of his biggest things was, and he does it with his wife now, like to connect too. Yeah. After dinner, immediately after dinner, you're not sprinting, you're not doing stadium laps, like
just walk.
Literally, like they go. I think it's like 20 or 25 minutes.
Yeah.
What was that? Walking. That's what, a mile, ish.
Yeah, probably.
And so, he's like, he's do that. He's like, that's been the best thing for me to maintain is eating earlier. Because he's eating like 8 or 9. He's like, I bumped it to like 5, no later than 7.
Right.
And then like with a 25-minute walk, and he's like, it helped me start shedding stuff like crazy.
Yeah. It really does. It gets digestion going. It feels good. Because a big part of getting in shape too is your mind. You know, we use the body to really beat the mind into submission because the mind is the one that doesn't think we can do it.
Sure.
The mind is the one that wants the comfort food. The mind is the one that wants to lay on the couch after a meal instead of walking. So if we can walk, use the body to walk, now we're starting to train the mind like, oh, actually this is who I am. I'm not the guy that just sits on the couch after I eat and grab a beer. I'm actually the guy that walks and that feels good. The body responds, and you keep doing that. That's a super easy, basic thing to do. And then when it comes to nutrition, kind of the same thing. It's like, dude, everyone knows what they shouldn't be eating. Everyone knows not to smash a big bag of Doritos, but they still do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everybody knows not to eat McDonald's, but they still do it. So if you could just get yourself to just make healthier choices, and this is where education comes in too. So one of the things we have is we have a huge resource library that Adam and I have built out of what to eat, what not to eat, sample meal plans, it's recipes, like all this stuff that's just, it's there. You just get it, try it out, use it. You know, we have an approved foods list, we have a don't eat this list, all this stuff, because
I was going to ask you, because
nutrition is pretty easy, actually.
When you come in, I was like, I always have like 2 or 3 questions, just like, if it rolls, I'm like, yeah, it says. So what is like, give me the top, let's go just 3 easy. What are the top 3 things that everybody has at their fingertips and the U.S. in general consumes on a daily basis? These 3 things, like, immediately stop.
Soda. Stop drinking soda.
Okay.
Drink more water. I'll add that to it. Everyone needs to drink more water. Especially when it's cold. You know, it's a little easier in the summertime, especially in Arizona, to drink water. Yeah. But keep drinking water. So get rid of soda. Get rid of processed sugar, which is in candy, baked goods, basically anything packaged. All that stuff is very convenient, but also very difficult for our bodies to process. Packed usually full of extra sugar, so watch your sugar content or your sugar intake, rather.
Okay.
Yeah, so soda and sugar, and that stuff's really easy to identify.
Sure.
You know that.
You're like, I don't know what that is. It's like,
yeah, and then you said to cut out.
Yeah.
I mean, right there, people should start with that. And then the third thing I would say to cut out would be whatever messes with your body, whatever doesn't agree with your body, because everyone's a little different. If you're eating cheese and drinking milk and it's making you gurgle and fart and like that's your body telling you, hey, I'm not really digging this.
Right.
Or if you're eating bread and pasta or whatever and your body's not agreeing, it doesn't even have to be like, oh, explosive fucking shitting or anything, but just like, listen to your body. Like just kind of quiet down a bit. And after you eat something, if you don't feel fine, like nothing happened, and you feel like some sort of uneasiness or you're itchy or you're swollen or something like that, that's your body saying, hey bro,
pay attention.
You just ate something I didn't like.
Sure.
So if people would start to find out and I learn whatever their body doesn't like and cut that out, dude, they'd be so much happier. They'd love it. Because who wants to walk around inflamed and all that kind of shit? Nobody.
Oh dude, the bloatedness, the lethargic.
Yeah, your body's telling you, so just listen.
Dude, that's how I was.
Don't just push through. Listen to it.
One of my aha moments too, 2 years ago ish, was it was hot, and like, oh, you should drink a lot of water. I was like, but water's not cool. It doesn't taste cool. Doesn't look cool. You get nothing cool about water. There's not, right? Even I have Liquid Death right here. Shameless shout out to Liquid Death. Like even then, it's still water, right? And I was between Quick Trip and Circle K's, and I'm in like, this is probably 3 years ago, because I'm going like ham on roofs. So I'm getting up on roofs and selling roofs and moving trailers, ordering materials. Like I am in the thick of it.
Yeah.
Compared to today, different role. And I remember, because I had it in my truck, so I'm done with drinking, I'll throw it in my passenger seat on the ground and pick it up later and throw it out. Yeah. And I had 2 16-ounce water bottles, but I had 2 huge Gatorades, 2 44-ounce Polar Pops, and 2 Monsters.
Damn.
In one day, and that's what I drank all day. And I was
like,
and I'm like, a little aha moment, like one of those your memory sits up here forever. I'm like,
right.
Holy shit! I'm like, there's no. It's 110 outside.
Yeah.
I'm like, I probably should drink 1 or 2 of those and 19 of those.
Right.
But it's not cool, doesn't look cool, doesn't feel cool, doesn't taste good, doesn't taste like anything, And I'm like, holy shit! So exactly what you said. I'm like, dude, you have to master the basics. Drink drink less soda, drink more water.
I say hydrate or die. I had on a whiteboard for probably the last 15 years, just hydrate or die.
Or die.
It really is that simple. Our body is mostly made of water. It flushes it out. We need it.
Well, the crazy part, so you've done 75 hard a few times, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
So when I did it on Andy's thing, I don't know if it says in his book or on the podcast or till episode 260, whatever it is. But he talks about how when you drink just even a gallon of water a day, which most is average person should drink a half a gallon, so it's almost double what average is, from what I've been told.
Sure.
If you drink more water, you literally are filling your body with water to where you don't want to eat more, so you can actually eat less. Is that true?
It can be, yes. It can also have the other effect too, because first thing I do in the morning is I drink about half of one of these immediately.
Just
first thing. And that starts to get your body going. That starts to get your metabolism going and everything going. So for me, that
you wake up dehydrated, right?
Yeah, and that makes me ready to eat then after I do that. So it can go both ways. But dude, always drinking more water is a good thing. And here's one thing if we're talking about what not to eat. Think about this. Your cells, your body, what your body's made out of, replace themselves about every 7 years. So what you were eating the last 7 years is what you're made of today. So if you think forward 7 years, how old are you now?
37.
So 37. So you're going to be 44, right? Think about when you're 44, what do you want your body to be made of? Do you want it to be made of Polar Pops and McDonald's and Doritos? Or do you want it to be made of steak and bison and rice and organic produce and water and these things that we know are just packed with nutrients and they come from strong animals and like that? I want to be made out of a bison. I don't want to be made out of a fucking hot dog.
Right.
You know, so if you think about that, yeah, so even if someone's like, all right, fuck, what do I need to do? Like, why do I need to change? Like, maybe someone doesn't really care, like we talked about having a six-pack.
Sure.
Just think about your overall body health and what do you want your body to be made out of? You got to start eating and making better choices now so your future self can thank you instead of say, damn it, I wish you took care of me back in the day.
Love it, love it. Yeah, I've had a weighted vest for like 2 or 3 years, but it's so gross. I literally had to throw it away. It's so raunchy, it just smells.
Yeah.
Especially in the summertime, it's just, that thing could walk itself out the door.
Sure.
So I got a rug backpack. I love rucking.
Yeah,
I don't run.
Great.
I have my 75 hard route.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not 75 hard, literally two almost the minutes, 45 minutes.
Yeah,
like
perfect.
This or this, and move this, up this, go around this house, and leave it out, and literally between 43 and 47 minutes.
Yeah.
With a ruck. So how, like, I guess my personal opinion, not being in the fitness space, would be that's actually how I jump started my mental mindset to get into shape, to listen to books, to listen to audibles, and the worst part, Keaton Hoskins does this, he has like a 10 foot by 10 foot box in his house that's like all concrete, you can't see anything, and it's dark, there's no lights, and it's a door, and you close the door, like, it's like you have to talk to yourself.
Yeah.
Like, not verbally, right, not out loud, but like you literally just have to do that. So when you want to walk or you want to run, especially when you're not listening to anything, like, and even when you are, you might be hearing, Ed Mila or Andy Frisella or whoever, right, or Justin Cross, and but like, your brain and your mind, people don't want to listen to themselves.
Right.
They're terrified.
Right.
Because of the shit that they are or are not doing.
Right.
And like, I had to overcome those demons late at night doing 75 hard, that second workout late at night, throwing on my vest and going for walks. Like, I had to confront my demons with myself day after day after day, night after night after night. And so, but literally just like I said, just that exercise, right? I wasn't like, I worked out for an hour and a half and I was doing PRs and all the other shit. Like, I literally just went for a walk by myself, dark, quiet, and just went and just I learned to love myself, actually. And that was kind of the biggest thing. Like, and since then it's been just, everything's changed. My marriage has been on fire since then. My business has been on fire. My health has been on fire. Like, going on all cylinders. So
I love that, dude. Yeah.
Dude, it's been a while, and now people ask me like, "Hey, Jason, I do this," and I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like, I have done it, and I'm like, "Well, here's how I did it." Yeah. But like you said, everybody's different, and everybody's bodies are different. But so go to the professionals. So before I leave, what one singular nugget of advice would you give to a small business owner, blue collar, working their ass off? Maybe they're married, most of them stereotypically married, couple kiddos, in the grind. The number one thing that they give up, in my opinion, is their health and their fitness. The first thing. They won't give up their marriage, they won't give up their kids. The very first thing they do is they start eating shit, right?
Yeah.
Probably grabbing a bottle or some sort of vice, right? And terrible sleep. What's the number one nugget you would give to that person grinding their ass off and their face off to make sure that they make themselves their number one priority?
Well, first off, my hat goes off to those men and women out there doing that, because it's hard work, and dude, I think you guys need more respect than you get, and in order to get more respect, you have to earn it. And it starts by leading yourself by example, so you can lead your business and your family and your customers and all of that. Because one of the big differences between blue collar and white collar is blue collar really does depend a lot on your reputation, how you show up, the work you do, your in-person interaction with people. It's not just like run an ad and sell something and they have no idea who they bought from. Like, it really rides on you. So in my opinion, I think it's always a good idea to show up being your best version. Like, show up feeling confident, because people can see that. Especially if you're in sales.
Oh my gosh.
Like, dude, like, you show up at someone's house, like, smelling like a bag of ass and looking like a bag of ass, and you're trying to get invited into someone's kitchen or sit on their couch. Like, no, hell no. But if you show up and you got a nice smile on your face and you're put together and I can see discipline coming out of you, and I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe it'll go to the next level and we can talk inside, So I think that's important. However, but you mentioned them having like a family. I think whether or not you want your kids to follow in your footsteps and do blue collar or white collar, because some people really get beat up from it, I totally understand. I think you need to make sure that you are doing the family the right way by leading by example. They know you're out there busting your butt at work, but it's not good enough to just say, hey, someday I'm going to take you to the park. Someday I'm going to make a lot of money and buy you all the presents and take you on these trips. Someday I'll be there for you. Someday I'll actually give you the time and the attention that you need. Someday, like, that's not good. Okay, so how do you do that though? Because I get it, like, long hours, working hard in the sun, in the cold, it's all on you. Like, that is the case, in my opinion, to why you need to take your health seriously, so you can show up for your business and your family by showing up for yourself first. So master the basics. This is what I love to teach, and we can go as advanced as you want. We have a super advanced health program as well. But dude, most people just need to master the basics of fitness, nutrition, hydration, sunlight, and sleep. Some of it was sunlight. What are you talking about? But just shoot me a DM. I'll send you my thing. It's easy. It's free.
Sure.
But I think that's the best way to basically lead your family to success and your business to success, is by taking your personal development and your health seriously. First. Just like on an airplane, everyone knows what I'm going to say. What do they say? Put the oxygen mask on yourself before you help the person next to you, even if it's a kid or an older person. Because if you fumble your mask or you fumble their mask and you pass out, now you can't help anybody.
Yeah, you're useless.
So especially for you guys that are out there busting your butt in blue collarville, like, dude, great. Like, but why not show up the best version of yourself for everybody around you? I think that's how you're going to just do the best you possibly can.
Love it. Just across everybody, how can people get a hold of you if they want to hit you up for fitness and health stuff, or maybe they want to do one of your retreats up in Sedona? What does that look like?
Yeah, you can go to earnitall.com.
Just like that,
yep.
earnitall.com.
Everything's on there. We have our coaching brand on there called Earn Your Booze and Earn It All. Okay. It's less than $100 a month. Comes with a fitness program. We go through health, wealth, victory, respect. We just did goal setting last night, actually, for 2025 with all of our people. We dial it down to, I don't want someone to say, like, I want to get in the best shape of my life ever. Okay, well, how the fuck are we going to measure that? Let's make this really measurable. Set a big goal, but like make sure we know how to get there. So we just did that last night. And then if somebody wants to go like all in and like treat their body like I used to with fighter jets and really understand their DNA, their epigenetics, their gut health, extensive blood work, all this kind of stuff, we offer that. Those are hand-selected private one-on-one clients. And then every quarter we go up to Sedona, Arizona and do a men's retreat called True North. And that's where we do physical, mental, spiritual, and tactical training up there. So we have a private property up there. It's 5 acres. It's beautiful. I bring in some of my special ops buddies to teach weapons. We do a sweat,
do you know Jamie
lodge. I do. I talk to Jamie all the time.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, Jamie's the shit.
He's my homie.
Yeah.
He's my security for all my events.
Oh, yeah.
And I've known him since I was like 8. I know his entire family.
Yeah, I play bad guy for him at his trainings.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Jamie's the man, dude. He's super cool.
I was like, you guys have to know each other, so.
Yeah, cool. we were just talking the other day. So anyways, let's go to earnitall.com. And I would just really ask you guys to, like, if you're interested at all about getting healthy or working on yourself or whatever, at least just like come jump on like our Instagram or listen to our Earn It All podcast. It's free. You know what I mean? Like, you don't necessarily always have to just jump all in and say I'm committed to buying something. Like, if you like what we're talking about here, absorb more of this. If it's making you take action, absorb more of it and put that into your life.
Yeah. The reason why I brought Justin on and myself is because the average consumer has to consume on average, 47 minutes of your content before they'll transact with you.
Sure.
I don't know. My business partner Nick told me that, and he's like, dude, that's like why are you doing so much content over and over and over again, and podcasts and reels and videos and stories and events, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, because all of that, like, even if it's 2 minutes at a time, like, all of that stuff adds up. Once they get to 47 minutes on average, that's when they will contract with you.
Yeah.
So, fun little tip, like, that's why Justin's like, hey, here, because we can multi-purpose this like crazy. We can turn 10, 15 reels out of this, not even trying. Apart from putting it on YouTube, apart from putting it on your podcast, my podcast, like, and you can multi-purpose it. So, we go on forever. Justin Cross, everybody, thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate you. I love that you are an example of what be an example to your family, to your team members, and to your community. And I respect that. That's why I have you on. And appreciate everything you've done today.
Respect to you as well, brother.
Cool.
Appreciate you having me on.
Cool.